Amen. Anybody tells you the Jews are only making rules for themselves, you tell them go fly a kite. Remember we said, if a goy steals an apple, he gets murdered. And if a Jew steals an apple, he has to return the apple, pay for the apple.
Yeah.
So the goyim are going to say, what? The Jews are favoritism.
Right.
Mitzvah 477. You want to hear favoritism? We have a mitzvah deoraita to be mochel chovot. Every 7 years, there's an obligation on Jewish nation to forgive debts. Do you understand what we're talking about here?
I think so.
The Jewish nation has an anniversary every 7 years to forgive debts. Which nation has that? Tell me. We have an anniversary. Forgive debts. Rachamim, and this evil goyim are going to open their mouths against us. You're going to open their mouths against us. It's outrageous, huh? Outrageous. They think they're going to say, oh, these Jews, they're favoring themselves. Right? If a Jew kills by mistake, he goes to where?
Allah.
He goes to exile. A goy kills by himself by mistake, he killed a goy. What do you mean? What kind of mistakes are this? What is this? Jewish a favorite? Yeah. When you have a Jewish holiday, a 7-year anniversary, forgiving all your debts, you're fit to have special treatment. Out of this world. Let's start. Anyone who learns 2 halachot today, we are today in the first mitzvah of the day going to be mitzvah 477. Mitzvah tashbatat ksafim b'shana shvi'it. On the 7th year, it's a mitzvah deoraita to forgive all the debts that a person has. Meaning, after the year is complete, if you have not said, I want that money, meaning you have to be moser shtorotav lebeidin, you have to go to a Chacham and write a prusbul. Meaning you give your star to a beidin, instead of you collecting it, you're giving authority for the beidin to collect it on your behalf. And that's what we do every day. Every year, Matov Manaim, the mitzvah came up today. Actually, 3 days and 4 days from today, if you didn't write the prusbul, all your debts are lost, and you cannot. And it's a mitzvah not to collect them. Amazing. Then we have mitzvah 494. The mitzvah 494 is you're not allowed to bring a korban bal mum, which has a blemish, and what's his name? That even if this blemish gets healed. Today the limud is the nishmat Yecheskel Nathanael ben Arav Avishai Halevi. Bezat Hashem, Baruch Hashem Nathanael beganet Bezat Hashem. וגם רפואה שלמה חייב עד לאה. מצוות השמטת כספים בשנה השביעית, לעזוב החובות בשנה השמיטה. We are obligated to leave, abandon all our debts in the year of Shemitah. ועל זה נאמר, as it says in the pasuk in the Torah, Devarim Tetvav, that in the 15th parak, in the Sefer Devarim, in the pasuk Gimel. ואשר יהיה לך את אחיך תשמט ידיך. Anything that your brother has, anything that your brother is holding that is of yours, after the 7th year, tashmet yadecha, you are relinquishing your hand from it. B'kfeilah ha'azara bazot ha'mitzvah, the Torah has commanded us twice this mitzvah, sheneimar, also there in the pasuk bet, v'zeh hadavar hashmata shemot kol ba'al moshe maseh yado. Anyone who has anything that his friend has, he is to prevent his hand from getting it again. V'amru b'tosefta, and the Torah teaches us, b'shtei hashmatot, ha'katuv medaber, it's talking about 2 different things that you have to abandon. Achat shmatat karka, ve'achat shmatat ksafim. So anything that one of abandoning the land and the abandoning money. Okay, that's what it's talking about over there. כבר כתבתי בכסף תלווה במצווה השביעית, 10 רביעי בסימן ס"ח. So in mitzvah 84, I have discussed about this concept also. מה שידעתי בשורש המצווה, what is concerned and connected to this mitzvah in the root. ושמיטת כספים גם כן אחר אותה הטעם נמשך. ללמוד נפשנו במידות המעלות מידת הנדיבות ואין טוב. The whole purpose of this mitzvah that we have is to teach you the concept of having a good midot, having good attributes, to being a good person, a good-hearted person, and to giving away. ונקבע בלבבנו הבטחות הגדול בשם הברוך הוא. The whole purpose of this world is what? To help others. And obviously we are here to train ourselves to believe that Hashem is in charge of the world. So if you gave a loan to somebody, and the person did not has as of yet has not returned it, it's all in Hashem's hands, and you have to know that, and you have to believe that, and you have to trust in Hashem. ואז תזכור את הסכן נפשו לקבל טוב מאת אדון הכל כלול הברכה והרחמים. Also, it's a test. You gave a loan to a guy, $10,000. Supposed to give it back in 3 years. 7 years passed, he didn't pay yet. Yeah? 3 years turned into 30 years, 30 years turned into 300 years. As we know. Some people have 30 days turning into 300 days. Anyway, so the whole purpose is what? To have mercy. What is that mercy? Hashem is testing you. Will you have mercy on the person? And the same way you show mercy, Hashem will show mercy to you. Okay? וגם נמצא מזה גדר חזק ומחיצה של ברזל להתרחק מאוד מן הגזל ומן העמדה בכל אשר לרענו. And also, what?
Also for guys? You don't do
No, talk about our brothers and our people who are in the same parsha, in the same category. We talk about Jews to the Jew. A Jew is a mitzvah to forgive other people's debts, to grow in ourselves this concept of letting go and knowing that it's all in Hashem's hands, that everything belongs to Hashem. Just like we said, you're not allowed to charge interest. Why are you not allowed to charge interest? The same concept. You're not allowed to charge interest because it's not your money. Nothing belongs to you in this world. It's all Hashem's. אפילו על היתר ממוני והגיעה שנת השמיטה אמרה תורה להשמיד בידו המלווה שלא לגזול ושלא להחמוס ושלא so it's going to actually, this is going to teach us, the Rabbi says over here, that if we are going to let our own things go, right, and you have such a midah, you become such an individual that you let things go that even belong to you, what is going to teach you? For sure it's going to teach you not to steal. For sure, it's going to teach you not to steal. Amazing. It's amazing. That the Torah told you this. Obviously, not that also. Mitzvah, all the things concerning this mitzvah. Okay, Shamru Zechanam Lebracha. Our sages taught us. שאין השביעית משמטת אלא בסופה כששתקה חמה בערב ראש השנה של מוצאי שביעית. So when is all the debts forgiven? Only in the end. That's why at the end, people usually before Rosh Hashanah write out this cold thing of Prusbul. As it says over there, at the end of the 7th year, you forgive. Even if the guy wrote you a mortgage. If you have mortgage house, you borrow the money to buy a house, and he mortgaged it to you, anything, even if there is a real amount or collateral, everything is forgiven. Everything. ואם סיים זדו שדה בהעלאתו אינו משמט, כן, כתב הרמב"ם. זל, ותימה הוא דרבי יוחנן דחי לפרק השולח. So there's all the, what's his name? בהעלאתו אינו משמט. So if he gave him סיים לא שדה בהעלאתו אינו משמט. I don't know what סיים means. But he said, so anyway, there's a big machlokes according to some people don't hold this. Even fields are actually also in this category of forgiving. However, salaries of employees are not forgiven. Or debts to the stores. You hear? Your debts are not forgiven, meaning you take products, let's say merchandise. None of the thing is forgiven. You have to pay for it. However, later on, let's say if he says, I'm giving you a loan of $10,000, you could buy merchandise in my store only with this $10,000. So that will be discussed as considered as a loan, not considered as merchandise. But merchandise is not forgiven. No condition that merchandise is forgiven. Or rent. Somebody is paying rent. Oh, right? So that's the discussion. Oh, this is what we're talking about. A person who gives over his contracts to the Beit Din to collect, as we said earlier. The Beit Din has a right to collect. Beit Din does not have this prohibition of not collecting the debts after the 7th year. Again, forget about it. 1 second. We have a mitzvah 277 that you're supposed to forgive all the debts, but then there is also a mitzvah that says you're not allowed to collect the debts. after Shnat HaShmitah. Okay? So in one instance, we're not allowed to collect money after that. And over here, it's a mitzvah specifically to let go the money, and it's a mitzvah deoraita. Okay? Yeah, when is this mitzvah deoraita? It says like this: mitzvah deoraita be'eretz Israel, specifically in Eretz Israel. Ubechol makom. However, then it's all over. Bezman she'hayovel noheg. At the time of Beit HaMikdash, when there was yovel, it was all over the world. Bezcharim and nekivot, regardless man or woman. V'katavti lemala beseder behar Sinai. Ve'ez zman hayovel noheg. It's also discussing when there is yovel. Obviously, that's when and it's obviously every 7th year. Aval bezman she'en hayovel noheg. However, in the time like we don't have such thing concept of yovel. And shemitat akarkaot ksafim noeged midoraita. None of this is from Torah today. What is it? Aval midivrei sofrim. However, the sofrim, the Chachamim established and said noeged shemitat ksafim afilu bezman hazeh afilu bechol makom. Today, however, only monetary loans are that people give. The Rabbanim still kept that strictness, that an obligation. And it's now midrabanan all over the world. The rabbis have established this mitzvah specifically that the mitzvah should not be erased or forgotten from the Jewish nation. Already explained about Ezu hi Shnat Shmita לדעת המפרשים הגדולים היהודים דרכי התלמוד, as the rabbis teach us all this. And today, what happens if a person עובר על זה ותבע את חברו על החוב שעברה עליו שנה שביעית, בזמן הבית ביטל עשה, מלבד שהוא עובר עליו כמו שנכתב, בסדר, זה בעזרת השם. So mitzvah 275 is a prohibition. 475, sorry. Mitzvah 475 it tells us you're not allowed to collect money after Shemitah year. So this person who went ahead after the 7th year and he approached this person and says, give me my loan back. What do you mean, give me my loan back? Yeah, I have a contract. You owe me $10,000 on paper. And he goes to Beit Din. Sorry, he didn't do Bruce Bull. And he went to American court or Goyish court, and he got the money. He is a transgressor. He broke 2 averot. One mitzvah avera lo ta'aseh 275, and now he broke also mitzvah 277 by not forgiving. This is all the Rabbanan. So it's all the Rabbanan. Yaduha Beit Din. So the Beit Din today obviously could in that case issue a cherem. He has to return the money, even though American court said money belongs to him. In reality, if he didn't do prusbul, he is not allowed to collect that money. And if he collected, he transgressed 2 sins, or one taseh and one lo taseh. But however, what do you do with him? Do we lash him that he broke the avera? He did avera. He broke 275. Not allowed to collect, and he collected.
He did a ma'isa. He did an action.
So therefore, you give him lashes.
You do give him lashes. Yeah.
That's the rules. You sure? Think about it quickly.
I guess not.
No, he has to pay back. The rule is kol shalem and okay. If the obligation of anything that it comes with monetary, if there is a compensation that could be done with monetary, he has to return the money or pay for the damages that he did. And if he does that, he doesn't get no lashes. Mitzvah 494. Shelo le'akriv korban ba'al mum over. We have a isur, a prohibition of bringing a korban that has a blemish that will be healing. Even though it's going to be healing, you're going to say, what's the difference? It's going to heal soon. Let me just bring it now. The animal not allowed. We're prohibited from sacrificing any animal that has a blemish. Even if it's going to be blemished to healing. It says in Devarim Yud Zayin, 17th chapter, first pasuk. You're not allowed to bring and sacrifice any animal that has a blemish. Specifically, this Isur the right of 494, it is specifically talking about a blemish that will be healing. Mitzvah. What is connected to this mitzvah? Katavti beseder emor. I already brought down in the Sefer Emor. Ela kohanim b'mitzvah aseh. Over there we discussed mitzvah number 296. Ubelav Yud Bet. Over there also mitzvah 277. 286 and 277. And also mitzvah 275. Yes, There's a hint to that. What is connected to this mitzvah? Kigon achilukim she'amru zichronam lebracha. As what are the differences and the differentiations over there? As our sages taught us in Masechta Bechorot, Lamed Zayin, Amud Bet. We have mitzvah Masechta, 37th page over there. Shehen ba'avehima ben mum kavu lemum over. So everything over here is discussing what specifically an animal which has a blemish that gets healed. שכל בהמה שיש בה מום קבוע נבדל וגם מצוות עשה לדותה כמו שביארנו בסדר ראה אנוכי השם. So mitzvah over there, mitzvah number 441 discusses what happens in the Beit HaMikdash. You have animals that have been moomed forever, has a harm that is not fit for a sacrifice. Those animals is a mitzvah to redeem. אם יש לה מום עובר, לא קרבה ולא נבדל, לא נורא ולא נבדל, אלא ממתינין לה עד שתתרפא או עד שתסתאב. So we have, however, if there is a blemish in an animal that heals on its own, you should wait and bring it when it heals. Okay? Now, let's see. נוהגת איסור זה בזמן הבית. Obviously, this prohibition is the time of the Mikdash. There's no the Mikdash now. We cannot bring korbanot, but you should learn about it. כי אז בידינו להקריב קורבנות, because then we had a mitzvah of קורבנות. ובכלל איסור זה של זביחה בין כהנים או ישראלים זכרים ונקבות. It's talking about anybody who brings this animal to the Beit HaMikdash. However, the Kohen, he's gonna have a problem if he brings this sacrifice on the Mikdash shchitat. בקורבנות כשרה יהיה בזכרים. וכמו כן נאמר שעוברים עליה אם נעשו שלא כדין. And whoever does the shechita, and then the Kohen throws the blood from this animal, now what happens to this guy?
What happened?
What do we do with this guy who performed this? Right?
Because he did a Maisa.
That's right. There is an actual maaseh. He took the korban and he makriv the korban. He gets lashed for this avera. Have a wonderful day.
So what's the case? My Rabbi told me where